RCTP, beginner to 512, level 5, 511A to 511D introduction. All right, we've made it to the 511 levels. Now let's look at what you need to do in order to maintain and improve yourself. I'd say about the 511 level, you'll be climbing about twice a week, and this is normally where you're at to maintain your physique. If you do want to improve yourself, I'd suggest starting to climb 3 times a week. Your warm-up is going to be either an easy lead route or you're going to be bouldering for a few minutes. For cross-training, definitely suggest eating habits and sport diet. You might need to do cardio or weight training or both depending on your body type. And I really highly do suggest using TRX. I just started using TRX about, let's say, 3 to 4 months ago, and I wish that this was a tool that I started to use a little bit earlier. Your best ways to improve are to create a lead cutoff. So this is something where if you really want to start to get to 512s, then what you need to do is to say, okay, anything below a 510A, I'm going to stop top roping any of these routes and I'm only going to lead them. And to follow that up is you should project an ambitious climb. So grab on a top rope and jump on a 12 at this point. Just try a 12A. And like maybe you're only at like a 511A or B, but just try it. Maybe you can only make like 3 moves. That's fine. You're still making 3 moves. So for your warm-up, lead an easy route at a 5-9 or lower, or you can boulder 2 easy routes, then project a climb. So I used to do both of these actually. So I normally would start off with bouldering 2 easy routes. Then I would take like a project V4 or V5 and work on that, and then I will go to leading a route, and I'll probably pick like a 5-8, 5-9 and just lead a route like that. Our stretches, we have full, pigeon, and foot. We start into a down dog pose in order to get into pigeon. We lift our leg up, and there we go into pigeon. Now what I'm going to do is move my one hand over into the middle while I reach back and grab this back leg, and this is a great stretch for your quads. Cow face. For cow face and twist, what you do is you slowly bend one knee back like I just did. If you want, you can use a block. I'm fairly inflexible, so I do use a block. And then you lift your other leg over across like this. If you're really flexible, your 2 knees will actually touch and there won't be a gap in between, but it takes a little bit for me to do that. So you can also stand up as you see and just hold your back just nice and straight. What you can also do is grab a strap, or if you don't need a strap, you can just try to grab your 2 fingers from behind and do a little bit of a stretch, and then you can also lean forward and that will increase your stretch. Down cow face. For the cow face twist, we start in cow face position, and then what we're going to do is lie down on our backs and we're going to put our foot onto the mat like this. And you just hold that stretch. Okay, and then what we can also do is grab both of our ankles and pull them in towards our chest and just hold that pose. Cross training. Our must do at this point, you really need to start looking at your eating habits, and you want to start to have a sport specific diet. So this is just watching what calories you're putting into your body. What are your macronutrients? Are you eating too little vegetables? Are you eating too little meat? Are you eating too many carbs? Like, you need to start just watching what you're eating and being self-aware about what you're putting into your body. You also need to potentially be doing cardio at this phase, or weightlifting, or both, depending on what your body needs. And you want to start to climb like the opposite body type or style. So if you're noticing that, somebody who's very flexible climbs one way, but they aren't as strong, maybe the person who's a lot stronger, but not as flexible needs to start to learn how to climb like somebody who is a little bit more flexible. And what I highly suggest using is to start doing some TRX exercises, and that will be in the cross-training video for this level. Your end of climbing session training. So once per week, I want you to try to do a hover drill on 2 boulder problems. So you want to be doing these in about the V2 to V4 range. When you're first starting out, do this in the V2 range. And then as you slowly start to move on, do this in the V4 range. What I want you to try to think about is that when you're going up a route and you're leading it and you're having a hard time making a clip using a certain type of hold. So if that's a sloper, if it's a crimp, if it's an undercling, whatever it is, try to find a boulder problem that mirrors the same thing. So if you're having troubles clipping off of slopers, then I want you to try to find a route that has a lot of slopers as a boulder problem in the V2 range and practice this hover drill. A hover drill is when you move your hand over top of a hold, but you don't touch it. You hover over top of it like I'm doing here for about 3 seconds, and then you grab the hold. What you're doing when you're doing these types of moves is that you're learning better body positioning and you're practicing body tension. It also really helps you out when you're clipping, because you know what, this is what we do when we're clipping. We're constantly holding like one position, and then we move to make that clip. Your best ways to improve are to create a lead cutoff. So this is, all right, anything below a 510B, I'm going to be leading. And you force yourself to do that. This is a great way to start to get more comfortable with lead, and it's a great way to start to enhance your climbing skills. Another part is to do 1 time a week, do a full bouldering session. I know there's quite a few people out there that have this attitude, especially if you're like a top roper, that, you know, bouldering is not really what you want to be doing. But if you really want to get better, you really need to supplement your top roping or your rope climb days with a few boulder days, and vice versa. If you're a main boulderer and you want to get better, you need to start supplementing, like, you know, once a week with a rope route. So then I want you to start thinking about projecting an ambitious climb. So I didn't start climbing 512s until I started to just put myself on 512s. You know, I would always be like, oh, 512s is like, you know, out of reach, and that's, you know, I'm just an 11C climber right now, and that's, you know, pretty good for me, and I'm fairly happy. And no, I just started being like, you know what, I can climb this 512. It looks sort of like in my style, so I'm just going to jump on it. And, you know, in doing that, I would start to do something like I would be climbing at a, you know, I don't know, 30% of the route, and it's awesome to just start doing it and start realizing, oh my god, I can actually do this. So project an ambitious climb. When I look at all of the climbers that I regularly climb with in the 512 range, all of us have exercise as a lifestyle. We're doing, you know, 30 minutes to 1 hour a day of some type of exercise. We all climb about 3 to 4 times a week right now. And we're all doing something else on our non-climbing days, whether it's going for a bike ride, whether it's yoga, whether it's just other types of cardio like a 10K run, or we're going to a weightlifting gym. A lot of us do that, you know, straight after work. We'd go to a weightlifting gym, and then maybe later on in the evening we'll meet up and go climbing, or we rotate a few things, but we're always doing something. And so if you really want to start climbing into the higher 11 grades, you're going to need to start to adopt that exercise as a lifestyle, and you start doing it, you know, even if it's 30 minutes a day, just start doing something.